The twin moons of Valyria hung like silver lanterns over the crystalline courtyard as Jack stepped onto the polished obsidian terrace. He wasn't supposed to be here. Not in the Royal Ascension Gala, not among ambassadors, star generals, and aristocrats whose very names could buy planets. He was just a Terran engineer, invited accidentally through a clerical glitch nobody bothered to correct. But Sarah had insisted he come. "Jack, even if it was a glitch, enjoy the night," she had laughed earlier, adjusting his collar. "Worst case, you accidentally offend someone important and humanity is vaporized tomorrow." He hoped she was joking. The band of Valyrian harmonic weavers tuned their floating instruments, threads of light vibrating in the air as music shimmered like colored mist. Jack, still overwhelmed, almost didn't notice the radiant figure drifting through the crowd. She stood taller than most, her presence calm yet impossibly magnetic. Her skin glimmered a soft opal blue, shifting like nebulae under starlight. A thin circlet rested upon her temples, pulsing faintly with symbols older than human civilization, and her smile, soft, luminous, warm, felt like the first sunrise after a long winter. Jack froze. Sarah nudged him. "Stop staring like a malfunctioning drone." "I'm not staring," he whispered, still staring. "Her smile is just, wow." "That's Queen Lyra Thale," Sarah said knowingly. "Sovereign of the Valyrian Triad." Jack choked on air. "Queen? Queen? "The only kind that matters at a royal gala," Sarah muttered. Before Jack could retreat into a shadow and pretend he didn't exist, the Queen's gaze met his. She tilted her head, almost curious, like she rarely found something unexpected, and he was interesting. Sarah whispered, "Don't you dare embarrass Earth." Jack stepped forward anyway, his heart hammered like a faulty reactor. His palms were sweating in ways that violated natural law. Yet something in her smile, gentle, kind, impossibly serene, pulled him in. When he reached her, Queen Lyra Thale watched him with bright bioluminescent eyes. Jack swallowed. "I'm Jack. From Earth. I know this is inappropriate and you're probably important, very important, but your smile is beautiful. And I wanted to ask if you'd like to dance?" Silence crashed over the courtyard. Sarah face-palmed so hard people turned. Nearby diplomats whispered urgently, terrified of a cross-species incident. The Valyrian guards stiffened, their armor flashing in warning. No one, in the entire 900-year history of the Triad, had ever casually asked the Queen to dance. But Lyra Thale looked at Jack as if he were a breeze in a sealed palace, something refreshing, impossible, and absolutely delightful. "A Terran," she murmured, her voice melodic with 3 layers of harmonics. "I have heard your species is reckless with sincerity." Jack managed a weak smile. "It's kind of our thing." "And you ask me to dance," she said, not knowing what such an invitation means in Valyrian culture. Jack's face paled. "Is it, like, illegal?" Lyra Thale's eyes sparkled. "It is a gesture reserved for the one you deem worthy of stepping into your life." "Oh," Jack squeaked. Sarah groaned in the background. "Great. He proposed. Interstellar marriage." "Perfect." But the Queen extended her hand. "Then let us dance, Terran Jack." Gasps rippled through the gala, but Jack didn't hear them. He stepped onto the luminous floor as tendrils of starlight coiled around the dancers, forming patterns only Valyrians understood. The music shifted, notes rising like glowing droplets, moving through Jack's bones. He awkwardly placed one hand near her shoulder. "Sorry," he whispered. "Humans aren't great at fancy dances." "Then follow my lead." Her fingers, cool and soft, wrapped around his. She guided him through the steps as if gravity itself listened to her. They moved like drifting constellations, her grace flawless, his surprisingly steady. Jack laughed breathlessly. "Okay, wow, I'm really doing this. I'm dancing with a queen." You are, she said, her smile widening. And you look terrified. Completely. Yet you came to me anyway. That's also a human thing. The dance grew slower, more intimate. Light swirled around them, shielding them from the stunned crowd. Jack felt the universe shrink to the warmth of her hand and the softness of her smile. When the final note faded, Lyrathale stepped back. "Terran Jack," she said softly, "you offered me a moment of freedom. No throne, no rituals, no expectations, just a dance." Jack scratched his neck. "I just thought you looked like you needed one." Her eyes softened. "In my culture," she continued, "when a queen accepts such an offer, it creates a bond of recognition." Jack blinked. "A bond? Bond!" Sarah shouted from behind a pillar. "What did you do?" Lyrathale gently placed her hand on Jack's chest, right over his rapidly beating heart. "Do not fear. It is not binding. But it means that when I remember this night, and I will, I shall remember the Terran who saw me not as a queen, but as a woman." Jack's eyes widened. "I mean, you're both, and incredible at both." Her smile returned, brighter than the moon's. "With that," she whispered, "you honor me." The courtyard's tension dissolved. Diplomats relaxed. Sarah let out a breath she'd been holding for 10 minutes. As Lyrathale stepped away, she glanced back over her shoulder. "One day, Terran Jack, I would like another dance." Jack grinned. "Then I'll be here." Sarah grabbed his arm the second the queen was out of earshot. "You idiot," she hissed. "You just impressed the most powerful monarch in the Triad." "Yeah," Jack said, dazed. "And she smiled at me." Sarah sighed, half annoyed, half relieved. But deep above them, in the silver-lit sky, a new message quietly echoed among the Valyrian stars. Humans were strange. Humans were bold. And sometimes, humans changed queens' hearts.